There they go inside, guys. Gate 42 is officially open. You have quite a few people that are waiting to go inside, guys. Both sides. And this is gate 42. There they go. They opened up the gate for them at 3:09 p.m. El Paso, Texas, gate 42 on 5/11/2023.
We got to talk about the Biden-endorsed invasion currently happening at this nation's southern border. In short, for people who don't understand exactly why this is happening, this all has to do, I'll explain it first, just because I know some people probably, you keep hearing the term Title 42, you're like, what does it mean? Well, in short, what is going on here is that it all has to do with Title 42, which is a provision that Trump put in during COVID, that it stems from this 1944 law regarding national security. Long story short, it was a provision that allowed us to very quickly turn away illegals who came to the southern border. Okay, so basically you show up, well, COVID, national emergency, you're not allowed to be in. Now, I'm unsure as to why the US has such compassionate laws toward this stuff in the first place. Frankly, I think it should be a zero tolerance policy, okay? If you show up at the border without papers, screw COVID, screw national emergency. How about you're not getting in because you don't have papers? Have papers, okay? But still, I don't know. But anyways, long story short, what has happened here is that Title 42, that provision has expired. Biden has refused to renew it, as you may have heard. And all of these now aspiring illegal immigrants think essentially that they can now just show up at the border and all be let in. Now, by the textbook definition of the law, that isn't exactly true. Although when Biden's in office, it might as well be true. But that's what all these migrants think. The migrants all think, okay, Title 42 is now expired, so let's all rush to the border. Let's all break into the country. And it's Estadios Unidos is all going to let us in. Okay. Now, it is very obvious, this is a surprise to no one, that this is exactly what Biden wants to happen. Okay? And I know some liberal might, and we as conservatives, we all agree, yeah, Biden likes illegal immigration and just mass immigration in general because it creates an economic base for the multinational corporations. It brings in a lot of new Democratic voters, et cetera, et cetera. We understand this. But, just to people who might try to take a good faith defense of Biden, no, he believes in border security too. No, actually, you look at the response of the administration here, okay? So what we have right now is a historic surge at the border, okay? And this is what the Border Patrol agents are saying. According to them, this is the biggest we have ever seen in history. The biggest amount of people we've ever seen in the history of all the border crises we've seen, which we've seen quite a few, right? Bush, Obama, Trump, even previously under Biden. This is the biggest border surge we have seen in our history. And what could Biden do in response to that? Okay, again, if he really was like, again, is anyone really going to argue he believes in border security? But just pretending to be good faith actors here, okay? What Biden could do is this. Not that everyone would listen, but he could at least go out and very publicly say, as the president of this country, hey, do not come. Do not, as in the words of Kamala Harris, do not come, right? Because you're not going to be let in, right? And even Democrats in the past have tried to do that, at least under immense public pressure. They've come out and said, Obama even said, yeah, don't come to the border now because you're not going to be allowed in. But of course, he will not say that because Biden knows if he said that, his voters who are waiting for him at the border would actually be deterred. They might actually turn away, right? Okay. And so instead of saying publicly, oh, well, how about don't come into the country? He refuses to say anything about this, totally silent about it. And so by doing so, he's, again, abetting the situation. And then here's what's really infuriating, per the Daily Caller. You got it here, right here. The Biden administration has, somewhere in this article here, the Biden administration has straight up instructed Border Patrol to just release all of these migrants into our country without any court dates. Okay? So what they're saying here is that, oh no, there's too many migrants. Oh, there's so many migrants. What will we do with all these migrants? Sure, it's a situation. What do you do with a historic amount of migrants at the border? Well, Again, for some reason, we can't just turn them back. That would make too much sense, okay? That would make way too much sense to just say, okay, go back. No, you're not allowed. Hey, no, don't answer the door, right? But no, right? They don't do that because they say, oh, we're claiming asylum. But there are not enough courts, right? The court system is unable to process all of these asylum claims. So what they're saying is instead, it's just let them all in. Just go ahead. Everyone's welcome. Okay, so not a single court date, no court dates, no tracking. There's not even a system to track them. No, nothing. Okay, what Biden yesterday tried to tell the Border Patrol is just, nope. Okay, Rodrigo, off you go. Off you go. Go ahead. Welcome to the United States. We're not even going to try to figure out how to deal with all this stuff because we have no courts. We don't have enough courts to hold them. The processing centers are overwhelmed. And so instead of just saying, then you're not getting in, this is what they were doing. So, what else is there to be said? The guy is destroying our country. What else is new? I think we understand why this is all happening. But I have some receipts here. I have some videos I want to kind of show you in glancing because, we got to talk about the actual people who are crowded at the border, who are at our border just sitting there waiting right now. And I think this video right here sums it up, okay? Because I am so sick of hearing that stupid talking point from liberals. And there's even a guy I saw protesting with a sign today saying, let them in. He had a sign saying, let them in. What they say is like, no, first of all, it's a bunch of women and children, right? It's just a bunch of women and children at the border. No, but then they say, no, they're good people, right? They're just as American as the rest of us. That El Salvadorian showing up at the border with no papers, no permission, no nothing. He's just as American as, everyone else, right? Okay. Well, first of all, what I would say is that even if all of those things were true, even if it were true that these were all the finest people, right? If Mexico really were sending its best, I would still say that we would not have a moral obligation to let them in because it is our country. It's our country still at the end of the day. So it doesn't matter. I don't care if it's MS-13 or some poor Salvadorian child with the the baby eyes in the charity commercial, okay? The United States still has a right and a duty to protect its border and control who does and does not enter the country. But as you're about to see, and I'll pull up the video here, this is not really true. This is just not true that that's what's showing up at the border. Take a look at this video right here. Okay. There's a few things you notice. First of all, the first thing I see is that there's an awful lot of fighting age men in this video, are there not? Do you notice that? It's all fighting age men? Because we're always told, oh no, it's all women and children. It's women and children. Look at these little poor migrant kids. But a lot of the times, look at this video. What do you see coming to our border? Those are fighting age men. What does that mean? Why are there fighting age men showing up to the border? It means that for some reason or another, these fighting age men who are more than capable of doing what the name implies have fled their country. Why is that? Why have they fled their country? Well, we should ask some questions. There's a few possibilities. Maybe they're criminals. Let's be honest, a lot of them probably are. You have to imagine a lot of them are fleeing for one of those reasons. But even in the best case scenario, hey, these are just normal people. What does it say that you're a fighting age man who fled your country? What does that actually communicate? It means you are a coward, okay? It's no different. It's no different than the guys remember the guys on the plane who were trying to flee Afghanistan? It's no different than that. Because I know they always say, they tell us, no, but they have to come here, right? All these migrants, they have to come here because their countries are so bad. But again, okay, maybe that's true of women and children, but it is the fundamental moral duty of a fighting age man, if the situation sucks, to either stay and fight or stay and build. Do something to make their country better, right? And it says a lot about their character that they are not willing to do that. It really does. It should be an immediately disqualifying thing. If I see a fighting age man fleeing his country, showing up at the border, to that I immediately say, you have no business being here, okay? And so I look at this video and say, clearly, by definition, they cannot be sending their best. They're not. And then, on top of that, what are all of these people, man, woman, and child, what are any of them coming to America for? Let's be 100% honest about that. I know it's not politically correct or whatever. But are they coming over to this country? Are these people coming to this country because they are peaceful, patriotic, loving Americans like we're so often told. They bleed just the same red, white, and blue as, Farmer Joe in Michigan or something, okay? Are they coming to this country because they love the Constitution, they love all of America's values, they're big respecters and freedom and the founding fathers and liberty and all this? No, that's not why, okay? Let me just tell you that right now. They could care less. They are economic migrants. That's what they are. They're economic migrants. And I know the libs say, oh, well, they're economic migrants. Sure, that's fine. They're coming over here for opportunity. It's all about opportunity. No, that's not what it's about. What they are looters. They are looters who are seeking to loot from a decaying and dying empire that is the United States. That's what it is. That's what it's about. Okay, it's not about, oh, they're going to come here, they're going to assimilate, they're going to wave, and they're going to barbecue on the 4th of July and love this country and be upstanding members of the community. No, that's not what it's about. Again, they're looting a dying empire. When you say they're coming over here for economic opportunity, that's what you're saying, okay? And I've seen that firsthand. Let me say that. I grew up in LA. I am in LA right now, as you can tell by the picture behind me and as I've been talking about, right? I'm visiting, I'm visiting the folks for a few days. And you can see it in all of these communities, okay? En masse, yes, I am generalizing here, but we're talking about a situation of millions of people crossing the border illegally. They're not flying the American flag, okay? Oftentimes, at least where I grew up, they don't even bother to learn the language of this country. Is any of this about patriotism for them? No. In fact, as you very often see, and you can see it in this video, they don't really have a regard for anything about this country, okay? They just believe there's a moral obligation for the United States to let them in. They get pissed at the U.S. if you're not allowed in. So again, what are they? They could care less about our freedom, about our country, about our values, about our anything. They are economic migrants who are looting a dying empire, okay? They are here to make money, half of which oftentimes, they contribute to the economy. Half of the time, it's not even actually spent in the United States. What very often happens is remittances, okay? They're sending it back to their home country. So, we know the story here. It's like, by definition, it's looting. Oh, you come over, but I don't mean that literally, but in a figurative sense, right? You go over, you go to this country, you don't care about the country at all. You just take money from it, and then you send it back to the country that you're originally from and your loyalty is actually to. We know the story. And so with that said, I am so sick of being told as an American that we have to show a compassion to the people at our border, that I have to accept the fact that there are people literally trying to break into our home, and they are virtuous people that we have some type of moral duty to let in. No, they're not. Okay, fighting age men in no case who are going to flee their country like that. I don't view them as moral people. And then, you just see it. You just see it. Hey guys, Vince Dao here. Hope you enjoyed that clip from the Vince Dao show. If you did, be sure to leave a like and subscribe if you are new to the channel. And be sure to check out the Vince Dao show live every weeknight here on this channel at 8 p.m. Eastern time. It is a great show. Many are saying this. So leave a like, check out our other clips, and be sure to check out the show. Yeah. God bless.